Welcome back, combat fans, to another chapter in the Face Yourself series. In this series, we take a deep dive into not only the history of each combatant, but their personality and their appearances over the years. In this chapter, we'll be going over the newly appointed Empress, Milena. As for this week's unique topic, I'd like to touch on Milena's love-hate relationship with Katana, and ultimately why the MK1 version is, all in all, the best thing that could have happened for Milena. I wanted to get this chapter done a while back, but I've been super busy, and not only that, I didn't want to rush Milena's chapter because she's a fan favorite, so I wanted to make sure that I had enough time to sit down and research everything I could. After all, fans literally bullied Ed Boon to bring her back in Mortal Kombat 11, so I can only imagine what they would want to do to me. But let's jump into this video as we take a look in not only the past, but the present. Get ready to face yourself. Okay, so in this chapter, we'll just go over her appearances over the years. We'll probably bypass the first two games because the first two games were really just color swaps of Katana, and like it's not really much to talk about there. So like I feel like we should just move on to the Mortal Kombat Gold days, because like honestly, around the Mortal Kombat 2, Mortal Kombat 3, all the characters were really just, all the ninja characters was really just colorful swaps of each other, like Scorpion, Jade, Sub-Zero, Reptile, Smoke, and Ermac, as well as Katana and Milena. But in Mortal Kombat Gold, Milena is introduced to the 3D era, with her having her own original designs. She wears her hair in a ponytail, and she has like these purple triangle, like purplish pink triangle earrings. She has a new purple mask, and her shirt is very different from the normal ninja costumes. She has like a black collar that connects into her purple leotard. What's different is, instead of having some kind of V-neck cut, there's like a cut from the top of her chest to her waist in kind of like a triangle shape, which is a little bit different than, you know, Katana and the other characters. Her shirt is actually like a purplish pink color with black trimming. The shirt is connected by a gold button at the very top. On her waist, she has this giant like black sash, not slash, that connects to the bottom of her leotard. On her wrist, she has like these black wristbands with some black rope wrapped around near her elbows. Her boots kind of have a unique shape. It's shaped in like a V shape, and it's fully black with a purple and like a purplish pink trimming. But moving on to that's gonna cover it for the Mortal Kombat Gold one. As like these costumes weren't super complicated or detailed, especially for the time. I feel like in Deception, where she makes her next appearance, is when she starts like, you can really tell that they were working on her own original designs. So in Mortal Kombat Deception, Milena wears her hair in a ponytail again, but the trademark mask, she changed it out for like a pink veil with black trimming around the top of the veil. She has yellow eyes similar to a cat. Around this time, the costume for Milena was kind of like a stripper's costume, if I'm being honest. Like, cause like, realistically, she would use her body to seduce her targets before ultimately killing them or torturing them to that kind of degree. She was more of a like just a seductress that would just use her looks to do like the really whatever she needed to get done. She would just use her looks to get it done. But anyways, it kind of briefly explains why her outfits were so revealing. But anyways, she has the same type of top like she did in Mortal Kombat Gold, but this time she wears like a pink bikini, just like a pink bikini in general. Her top shows almost her entire chest outside of covering her top. This time the top has long sleeves with, I think they are called like bell sleeves. I could be wrong though. The whole top is completely black outside of the pink trimming, kind of the opposite of her usual designs. Around her shoulders, she has gold armbands, and on her chest she has black leather straps that connected by a metal ring. She also she traded her black sash for like a black belt with gold buttons on it. At the back, she has a long sash that it goes all the way down to her knees, and on the back side, on the outside, okay, so like the inside of it is like a pink color, and on the outside, like it's like I think it was black. Okay, so let me start that again. So after like she traded her black sash for her black belt with gold buttons on it, and at the back she has like a long black like a long sash that goes all the way down to her knees. On the As far as the sash is like completely black on the outside and pink on the inside. Her new boots are completely black with gold buttons all around it, and on her knees she has like a gold strap around the top. But all in all, this costume was actually really cool to look at, even like though it was more of like them pushing the boundaries for like how far you can really push like revealing characters. And I feel like at that time it was more acceptable like than it is nowadays. Nowadays everybody censors everything, so like you can't really have these kind of costumes now because people just complain about it, which is just stupid, but it is what it is. But anyways, moving on to her alternative costume, she wears her hair down covering her left eye. She wears a pink headband, and the veil is also back with this costume. So in my opinion, this costume is like a mix of a female wrestler and slash a stripper. The one piece, if you can call it that, is mainly black with pink trimming on her hips. She has black and pink cloths hanging around both hips on her biceps. She has like these pink bands with black trimming and a gold design. Around her wrist, she has gold rings around both arms. To cap out this costume, Milena's thigh-high boots have an interesting design because it's like mainly pink with black trimming around around the top of the thigh-high boot. She has a lot of like openings in it. Her knee pads are black and they connect with the regular boot, which is pink and has like these black leather straps on it. Armageddon, obviously, they just reused the Deception and the Deception costume because she wasn't in Deadly Alliance. But anyways, honestly, the new costume in Mortal Kombat 9, I feel like it's like a new take on her Mortal Kombat Deception alternate costume. So starting off with her hair, she wears it down again, keeping up with her previous timeline. She has the yellow eyes again. So the actual one-piece leotard is a little bit different in this version. It actually connects to the mask. They got rid of the veiled and went right back to the regular ninja mask. This mask is mainly pink with a black trimming throughout it. The one piece is mainly pink with black trimming outside of the gold, much like the mask patches like around her abs. Also, she has like black lacing right above her abs and below her abs. On her biceps, she's back to wearing like these black bands. She switches from the rings and the wristbands to a pink and yellow like elbow high vinyl fingerless gloves. I don't even know if I'm saying that word right. Anyways, around the top of her wrist, she has like black trimming. And lastly, the boots. I feel like the boots might have been the most unique among the cast. Obviously, they're still pink at the top. But it's almost like a black lingerie lacing at the top that connects into the main boot, which also has gold trimming throughout it. Also, she has like a black patch with a gold symbol on it. I tried to find out what it meant, but I couldn't really find anything on Reddit or anything. So if you guys know what it means, can you guys just leave it in the comments below? I really appreciate that. But anyways, her next costume kind of looks like a rendition of her Deception costume. She has the veil. She has the veil again, and her hair is back in a ponytail. She has a one-piece top with a black trimming that connects into her bikini bottoms, which is basically all black. She wears the long sleeves again, but this time it just starts below her shoulder. So instead of it just being like where her shoulders are. On the top of the sleeve, she has like gold trimming followed by like a mainly pink and black design with the black trimming. She has like black cloth that wraps around her body. It connects into her pink belt with black trimming. She also has a gold ring around the belt on her left leg. She has the same kind of belt, but it's much smaller, wrapped around her leg. And finally, her high heel boots are mainly black with pink trimming. And finally, her last costume, if you can even call it a costume, it's basically her without clothes, except that she has like a white wrapping around her body. Like looking back at it now, it was kind of insane that this kind of outfit got through. But then, like, if you really think about it, like a lot of the costumes, they didn't really care too much about it until like I feel like the Mortal Kombat X days. I'm sure people were complaining about it, but I remember people complaining the fact that they didn't have those kind of costumes either. So I mean, no matter which way you fall in the argument, I feel like creators should be able to create however they want. If you don't like the product, just don't buy it or play it. It's as simple as that. But anyways, fast forward to Mortal Kombat X, the new design for Milena. This look is probably my favorite, if I'm being honest. She looks both savage and beautiful. Her hair wasn't exactly straight, it was kind of frizzy, and her yellow eyes really popped with the shadow from her hair. She has a pink mask again, but it kind of looks like a cowl that has a gold ring. So this is the first time Milena actually has like shoulder pads. They're fully black as well. Her top is kind of just like a regular pink chest piece with black trimming and black straps that go around the sides and connects with the shoulder pads. So on her right arm, she has like a black band, and around her biceps, while on her other arm, she has like a protective guard. She has a pink arm guard that have black leather underneath them with gold buttons. She has a cool belt with a skull that kind of looks like Shao Kahn's head. The belt is made of it's like completely made of rings instead of just being a strap, and the whole belt is like a dark gold kind of gritty color. She actually wears black leather pants for once. She has a long piece of pink cloth that falls in both the front and the back. Her boots are rather simple, just pink with some black trimming throughout it and a few gold buttons. That about covers for MKS. This is actually the first time I actually got to see her not actually wear like pants, which I think it actually looked really good for the time. But anyways, moving on to Mortal Kombat 11. Milena has very plain looking outfit. It's like purplish pink. She has like her mask back. No surprise there though. And she's wearing like a one piece, but it has a bunch of different kind of like cloths to cover. If she doesn't and she doesn't really have pants again in this iteration. She has a lot of like armor on her arms with her armor guard and her hand and arms are wrapped in like a purplish pink cloth. This is the first time I recall her wearing full on gloves. Around her waist she wears a new like purple sash, which her shirt actually hangs from the bottom, a purple layer, and then like a second black layer underneath it. She's back to wearing her purple thigh-high boots with black trimming. Her actual boot is heavily armored, made of some kind of metal. It's heavily detailed. In my opinion, this costume was just an updated version of her Mortal Kombat 2 costume with a few changes. But finally, we're gonna get to Mortal Kombat 1 Milena's. Her new outfit has so much to talk about. She wears her hair up and has like a fade on the sides, as well as like this metal piece on the back of her head. She wears like a pink cowl that a pink cowl like mask, but it has a ring that connects into her top, and she has like a pink pure and gold pink and gold throughout the costume, and she really likes all the leather straps. On her biceps, she has these bicep guards and elbow pads. Underneath them, she wears a pink and purple wrapping around her waist, and she wears like a new type of metal belt with rings around it. She's back with pants again, they're pink and purple with gold trimming around. It's pretty standard on the sides. On the sides of her thighs, she has like these gold dragon piece kind of plating. I don't know exactly what you would call them, but they were actually pretty cool to look at. Her boots have gold plating on her knees and throughout the costume. Also, the boots are kind of open toe, which is kind of interesting when you consider the boot so heavily armored, and having open toe kind of feel like defeats the purpose. But you know, it is what it is. In a separate video, I plan on talking about the other costumes, from going from Mortal Kombat X to Mortal Kombat 1. But the thing is, with these games, they have so many costumes, it would take forever to go through each individual costume. So I just wanted to get the main primary costumes, like for Mortal Kombat X onward. Like, it's just too many costumes to cover. But eventually I'll get to making another one. But that's gonna complete this chapter of talking about the costumes. Honestly, I feel like Mortal Kombat X's costume is kind of my favorite from all of them. But let me know what you guys think about that. What's your favorite costume from basically from when she first started, from Mortal Kombat 2 days? Leave your answer in the comments below. Okay, so this is in this chapter we'll kind of be just talking about Kitana and Milena's like love-hate relationship. So throughout Mortal Kombat, there's been a lot of bitter rivalries. Shinnok and Raiden, Scorpion, Sub-Zero, Sonya and Kano, and who could forget Liu Kang and Shang Tsung. But none, in my opinion, is more complicated than Milena and Kitana. For starters, if we look at it from Milena's point of view, she didn't ask to be born. Being a clone of Kitana and being infused with the blood of a Tarkatan, she was always going to be mentally unstable. In the original and alternate timelines, the Tarkatans were evil creatures by nature, feeding on flesh in order to survive. Here we have Milena, who, though she was a clone of Kitana, she couldn't fight her instinct to devour flesh, and even though she was half Tarkatan, she was still part Edenian and wanted Kitana to accept her and treat her like a real sister. Not some monster like everyone else, but from Kitana's point of view, she was a vile and dangerous monster and a clone of her. Honestly, if we're being honest, in the original timeline, Milena was more jealous. I think in the alternate timelines where we saw the side of Milena wanting to be accepted by Kitana and being a family, I think that, you know, that right there is probably the best like rendition of it. So like in the first timeline, she was just jealous of Kitana. She wanted everything Kitana had, and then the second timeline, she was more of wanting to her sister's love and affection until like later on in the story where you can start seeing that Milena was starting to get more power hungry and it's basically becoming like she was at the first timeline. But then by that point, Kitana had been dead for a long time, so it's kind of hard to say if Kitana was still alive, if she would still feel that way. But anyways, like from her point of view, like Milena's story is very sad and tragic. She didn't ask to be born and all that, and she just kind of had like this the person she wanted the most to care about her, she didn't care about her, and she just regarded her as a vile monster. But to be fair, from Kitana's point of view, she was a vile and dangerous monster, a clone of her, which was fused with the savage Tarkatans. Such creature was too dangerous to be left to live. In my opinion, Milena represented everything she could see herself being if it wasn't for Lu and Raid's help. That's why I feel like she hates her so much. Like in my opinion, like when we first meet Kitana, she's very similar to Milena in the aspect of like just her personality. But meeting Liu Kang and Raiden and all the Earthrealm warriors changed Kitana, and it showed her that Shao Kahn was evil, and it showed her that like she was not on the right path. So seeing Milena is basically like seeing her former self and what she could have became. So like in my opinion, like that's why I personally feel like she doesn't really care for Milena all that much. And the original and the alternate timelines. It's a very tragic story for Milena when you really sit down and just think about it. You can also see it in every ending. She basically just wants to replace Kitana in the original timeline, but in the intro, she acts like she wants her sister's acceptance, like in Mortal Kombat, and then like in Mortal Kombat, like okay, for acceptance, like I think it's like Mortal Kombat X onwards. They kind of just even Mortal Kombat 9, if you're being honest. Like okay, so in the alternate timeline, there's a lot of intros and even like some story stuff that kind of shows that Milena still wants to be accepted by Kitana, but their endings, she just seems to. It sounds sad. Like it's weird to say that about Milena, but like a lot of the endings, she just can't get Kitana to accept her. But in like, I feel like the main ending we see like a lot of emotion from Milena is probably Mortal Kombat 11's ending. We get a look at how lonely she really is. By the way, she talks about her daughter loving her and not seeing her as a monster, but as like something beautiful.
Yet even I can't reign forever. Like all queens, I need an heir. Someone to carry on in my name and see my will done across the eons. Unlike my sister, my daughter regards me with awe and wonder. To her, I am no abomination. I am perfection.
And I'm not gonna lie, I kind of feel bad for Milena. Honestly, the original and alternate timelines weren't very kind to her, especially when you take in the fact that she dies to a lesser character, to kind of make them have any kind of impact to the story. And the fact that she changes alliances faster than you can clock out when your boss tells you it's time to go home, that you can go home early. Out of everyone in the new era, Milena got everything she wanted. Not only was she the Empress, but Also, she had the relationship she always wanted with Katana. Liu was rather kind to her in the new era. Honestly, it kind of makes sense that Milena has everything that she wanted, even if it means Sindel had to die. Because like if you really think about it, by switching the roles of Katana and Milena, whereas Katana was no longer the first princess to inherit Outworld or Edenia, whichever way you want to call it. Milena not only that she was born to Sindel, she has a sister, and Katana, they both are sisters from birth, so that eliminates one problem with the relationship. And then the second problem is that she always was like she wanted power and she wanted to control things. Meanwhile, in this iteration of Milena doesn't have that sadistic like evil intention and doesn't have the Tarkatan blood. Technically, she doesn't have Tarkatan blood. She got the disease. So while she does have the Tarkatan disease, like it's not enough to completely control her with the doses of I don't know what the hell they call that. I don't think they ever said that they had a name for the medicine that keeps her Tarkatan disease from fully taking over her. Like it seems like she really came out on top in this timeline. Like she has the family. The only thing that sucks is that Sindel had to die. But I feel like anytime we see good Sindel, she dies. And every time. Like Sindel never stays in the game for too long if she's good. But yeah, that's just like my take on like the love-hate relationship and how I think Mortal Kombat 1 got it right. And it basically eliminated a threat for Earthrealm by just giving Milena what she wants, pretty much. Like by doing that, Liu Kang was able to avoid any disaster between Katana and Milena. So, you know, that was a great way to just kind of handle that problem. Okay, guys, so in this chapter, we'll just kind of like use whatever lore and bios we can find to kind of really just figure out who Milena is. And like each timeline, how has she changed? How is she different from each version? So Milena was first introduced in Mortal Kombat 2, being basically a color swap version of Katana. Serving as an assassin along with her twin sister Katana, Milena's dazzling appearance conceals her hideous intentions. At Shao Kahn's request, she is asked to watch for her twin's suspected dissension and must put a stop to it at any cost. She didn't really have much of a personality outside of just talking about being the twin sister of Katana, and the fact that she was charged with watching out for any suspicious behavior from Katana, and to stop her by any means, if necessary. Murdered by her twin sister Katana, Milena finds herself brought back to life by Shao Kahn himself. Her skills as a vicious fighter will be needed to defeat Earth's chosen warriors. Her ability to read the thoughts of her twin sister will enable Kahn to stay one step ahead, basically one step ahead of the Earthworm warriors. Honestly, her being able to read Katana is kind of an interesting thing. There's been no mention of this. Maybe it's something they just forgot and never just went back to. I don't know. Like, I don't remember outside of this, a few of the earlier games, them talking about her psychic link to Katana, which I feel like that was the case because, you know, later in the series, she wasn't her twin sister anymore. Now she was just an abomination, a clone of her. Anyways, reborn in another realm and servant to Shinnok since her rebirth, Milena finds that the coming battle gives her a chance to not only escape her fearful servitude to Shinnok, but she can avenge her own deaths as well. Knowing Katana will fight for Edenia, Milena ensures an easy escape route is left as she moves into battle with Shinnok. In Mortal Kombat Gold, Milena's back and she wants to escape the Netherrealm to get revenge for having been killed by Katana. There's not a lot to really break down. She's basically a female version of Scorpion at this point. I am the creation of sorcery, the hybrid of a Tarkatan warrior and the princess of Edenia. My purpose was to eventually replace my sister, Katana, from whom I was cloned. Katana regained her memories, however, and uncovered the plot to supplant her. After Shinnok's invasion, she cast me into her prison, where I remained until Baraka freed me. My hatred for Katana consumes my every thought, but Baraka tells me that his new lord, the Dragon King, has possession of Katana's body and uses it as his personal bodyguard. My only chance for revenge against her will be to serve Onaga and pose as the princess, leading her precious alliance of Edenia and Outworld to their doom. Milena hasn't let go of her hatred for Katana. It consumes her every thought, even though she's being mind controlled by Onaga. Milena doesn't care that Katana serves Onaga, but she just wants her chance to get revenge. Like, that's the gist of it. Like, her story was very similar to, well, not very similar, but it has certain similarities with Scorpion's story, where she just wanted revenge for her being killed. Outworld was mine. Posing as the Endenian wench Katana, I gained command of her army, and with it took control of Shao Kahn's fortress. All in the name of peace, I had planned to continue my charade until the Endenian forces could be corrupted enough to follow me as Milena, the true conqueror of Outworld. But my plans were foiled when the fortress was attacked. Shao Kahn had returned, and he was not alone. As I watched the initial assault from the safety of the Imperial balcony, I recognized the two warriors who aided him: Goro, Prince of the Shokan, and Shang Tsung, the wretched sorcerer of darkness, my creator. They crushed all who defended the stronghold. I hid in the throne room and commanded the Endenian mages to cast a defensive ward upon the door. It was of no use. Their magic was nothing compared to the might of Shao Kahn. He shattered the door and strode in as confidently as ever. As he stood before me, the two mages rushed to defend the princess, positioning themselves between Shao Kahn and myself. What a surprise it must have been when their own princess stabbed them from behind. They fell limp to the floor. Shao Kahn paused, momentarily confused. Removing my veil, I knelt before him. Welcome home, my master. Shao Kahn accepted my surrender and later ordered me to capture the Earthrealm warrior known as Shujinko. He was to be used as a bargaining chip to help forge an alliance with Onaga, the former ruler of Outworld. I sent the fool an invitation, hoping to utilize his arrogance and pride by acknowledging his heroic deeds. The ruse worked. Soon he was at the main gate, Rico's men dressed in the armor of the slain Endenian soldiers. I led him directly to the throne room where he was confronted by the new Dark Alliance. I did battle with him as Shao Kahn commanded. Defeating him was surprisingly easy. He was then cast into the dungeon where he will remain until Onaga arrives. I do not relish serving Shao Kahn. I am destined for greater things. An entire realm was once in the palm of my hands, and I will not rest until I regain that status. Though it would be impossible to rule Outworld now that Shao Kahn has returned, there are other realms ripe for the taking. Edenia will be mine. Whew, that's a lot. So Armageddon has very few bios, and Milena's bio is exceptionally long. So it's very interesting to see like the bios that they had for Armageddon. Like, due to the events of Mortal Kombat's deception, she was able to disguise herself as Princess Katana. That was until Shao Kahn came back into the picture. Milena is like, she's overcome with her urge to rule and to dominate. In the original timeline, Milena was just power hungry and revengeful, like a pretty standard villain for that time period. Shang Tsung had created many abominable creatures in his flesh pits, but none so twisted as Milena, a fusion of Endenian flesh and Tarkatan blood. Milena is both beauty and beast. This dichotomy has made her mind unstable. She is prone to fits of madness and savagery. Though she has the appearance of a mature woman, she is more of a child than an adult. A blank slate, conformed to Shao Kahn's will, devoid of conscience and remorse. Milena will butcher anyone to appease her father. In the old timeline, she's pretty much the same person outside of her wanting to become a family with Katana. I feel like later in the story she starts becoming like how she was in Mortal Kombat, the original timeline of Mortal Kombat. This is the first time we see Milena not wanting to kill Milena, not wanting to kill Katana or replace her, but to get Katana's acceptance. Perceiving a lack of loyalty in his adopted daughter, Katana, Shao Kahn ordered Shang Tsung to create a replacement, a daughter worthy of succeeding his rule. Shang Tsung fulfilled Shao Kahn's order by fusing Tarkatan DNA with genetic material stolen from Katana to create a cloned hybrid, Milena. Milena is the best of both, bloodthirsty and vicious as they come. She is a Tarkatan, but she possessing the martial artistry and expertise of an Endenian. When Shao Kahn was killed by Raiden, Milena took over as ruler of Outworld, but when she refused to align Outworld with Earthrealm, Against Netherrealm's attack, she was deposed. She now leads a rebellion against the usurper Kotal Khan. When both Kitana and Shao Kahn become dead, Milena takes control of Outworld. And Milena Khan is overthrown by Kotal for not seeing the wisdom in having an alliance with Earthrealm. She's starting to become hungry for power yet again, just like in the original timeline. Milena is the product of Shang Tsung's diabolical cloning experiments, a perfect blend of Tarkatan ferocity and athletic grace. Brought forward in the timeline by Chronica, Milena has learned of her tragic future. Her enemies must now submit or die. Very short but to the point bio. And like, if we're being honest, like the only people that this really affects would be Cassie, what's the bug lady's name again? Devora, and Kotal Khan. Like those, like it doesn't really affect any of the heroes with her learning about her death. So anyways, again, she walks the same path for lust and for power and the need for revenge. Into the new era, born mere seconds ahead of her twin sister Milena, she is the rightful heir to Outworld's throne, but even so, there are those who distrust Milena's impulsiveness. They whispered that Kitana, with her steadier hand, should replace Milena as heir to the throne. As Milena fights for legitimacy, she hides a horrible secret. She's affected with the dreaded and lethal Tarkat disease, where her affliction found out, Milena would be forced into battle to save her throne. This Milena is a different character overall from the original and alternate timelines. She's not a clone, but a real daughter of Empress Sindel. She finally gets what she wants, most of which is pretty much the love and acceptance of Kitana. And now she is the heir to the throne, which one day she'll rule. The only downside to this is that she still becomes part Tarkatan due to being mysteriously infected by the disease one night when she snuck out. All in all, I feel like Milena has the best story coming out of the new era. She gets everything she wants, and to cap it all off, she's a good guy now. Her story was tragic in both the original timelines and the alternate timeline. But because of that, she was able to get the life she always dreamt about. And in my opinion, it was the only way to go to eliminate a possible threat to peace. But what do you guys think about this version of Milena? Do you prefer her as a bad guy or a good one? Which version of Milena do you like the best? Me personally, I like the MKS version the best, but that's just my opinion. Thank you for checking out this video. Be sure to give it a like if you guys enjoyed this chapter. I'm still a little sick, so I'm like trying not to cough on the mic while I made this video. So if you guys got this far in it, I appreciate it. And just leave any opinions and thoughts you had on this chapter. If there's anything I missed, please leave it in the comments below, and maybe I'll make an updated video for it. Until then, thank you guys for checking the video. Hope you guys have a good rest of your day. Love you guys. I'll see you guys in the next one, and I'm out. Peace.